Welcome in. We are the Kansas City Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. I've got Thad Bell, Robert Russert, and we are joined by Diego Gutiérrez. Thank you very much for joining us again, Diego.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
All
Yeah,
right,
Cody,
go ahead.
Diego, WDAF Channel 4 soccer analyst and World Cup business insider for our local broadcast here. He's been very active out there, telling us how much fun he's having, getting up early in the morning and staying up late. It's a rough life.
It's been enjoyable. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. Right? We've been waiting for a moment like this for Kansas City football, Kansas City soccer. Um, and it's just a dream come true that we get to do what we do and the time that we are doing it and here in Kansas City. And I think it's a privilege and also a reward for those of us that have been involved in the game for such a long time. So I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys are also enjoying it.
Yeah, on the way to that 9 p.m. kickoff, that last game, Algeria, Austria, I had some of my doubts. This is going to be a long night, a late night. But then, in the middle of it, I'm like, "What? This is a World Cup game. This is my fourth World Cup game that I'm getting to attend. This is pretty awesome." So, Diego, on Friday, we've got the round of 32. Colombia had that thriller of a 0-0 draw somehow against Portugal and came out on top of that group, and they're facing Ghana. What are you thinking of this matchup? I'm sure you will be there. How excited are you? What are you thinking for Colombia in this one?
Yeah, definitely going to be there. It's a good matchup. I mean, Ghana has shown that they can be on the offense. They can take control of a game. That they have players that are dangerous. They can go on the attack and keep possession. But at the same time, we've seen him playing on a low block and become very difficult to break down. England had a difficult time trying to penetrate through Ghana's defense. So it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a real strong Colombian team to even be stronger and making sure that whether it's through the flanks or through set pieces, you have to be able to break this defense down. And once you do that, hopefully the game will open up a little bit for both teams.
So, Diego, yeah, I mean, what for you getting here? I mean, come on, man. You had three matches, 3-1 over Uzbekistan, 1-0 over the Congo, and of course that draw. What for you maybe was that moment where you're like, this team can do something, they could go far in this tournament? Was there a particular moment or just been kind of a gradual build?
Yeah, I know that this Colombian group has become a little bit more galvanized as the tournament has gone along. There was some question marks in some positions. We've had some turnover and some rotation when it comes to the right back position, whether Daniel Munoz is healthy or not. But Santiago Arias has stepped in and has done wonderfully. So the group itself has been growing. I felt I actually got to experience the World Cup as a fan for the Colombia Portugal match, and I was elated to see the intent and the desire to possess the ball against a team like Portugal. When I look at that game and you look at the outcome, it's unfortunate that Colombia had that goal called back. A very
By
close
a
offside call on
toe.
that set piece. But listen, hey, we see it in the NFL every week, right? We see plays like that in the NFL that is called back or that is corrected. Or I don't have an issue with that if it proves to be the right call. But I loved what Colombia was about. I thought that they were the better team on the night, and the results for sure, certainly in the group stage, are more than satisfactory for this Colombian team.
So, a lot of people were looking forward to seeing Cristiano maybe play Messi here in Kansas City. But, Zlatan's had his comments. Everybody's had their comments about Mr. Ronaldo. Any thoughts regarding his performance? Just give you your opportunity here.
I think quite frankly, I think that Ronaldo, especially the way in the position that he's playing, is a shell of the player that he used to be, right? And so, at what point does Portugal say we need to maybe consider either put him in a different spot? where he's not needed as much. Certainly when the team doesn't have the ball. Um, but when you're playing as a lone forward and you're playing between two center backs and you're 41 years of age, I don't care if you're Cristiano Ronaldo. It's going to be very difficult, right? And so, those are the decisions that Portugal and their coaching staff and the group of players will have to deal with and mitigate. But for me, a shell of the former player that he used to be, I think it may prove that if Portugal's continues to stick with the same system for the same player, it might be an early exit.
So we'll get back to Colombia here in a minute, but, Preki did win an MVP at what, 40, 41?
Yeah, 41 years old.
Not the
Yeah, he did.
same at all, but yeah. But, we talked a little bit last time you were on about James Rodriguez. How was his performance this year or this cup so far? And did his time at Minnesota United help him at all? Or what are your thoughts on James?
Look, James has also lost a little bit of a step, but he also is a special player. He's the type of player that with one stroke, one pass, one through ball can change a game. And so, very much to Cristiano, the question is, okay, how long do you keep a guy like that around in waiting for that special moment of brilliance? And so
Mhm.
I'm a fan of more of a collective approach. I would want to see somebody there that has the willingness to run and track back and be the first defender when you don't have the ball. That's the kind of football that I like. But take nothing away from James and his career and what he has done and the talent that he still has. Otherwise, he wouldn't be playing a World Cup at 37, 38 years old. He still has that talent. He still has that thought. But we also do have a pretty good replacement in the case that he can't go or he's not producing for the team. That being Juan Fernando Quintero.
So, Diego, how I know you have the roots in Colombia, you played for the US national team. Just how joyous are you, I guess, would just to see both of these teams in the round of 32 at this point?
That, as you could imagine, I'm beyond elated with both teams. Um, y- I saw a reel from Roger Bennett that essentially talked about his arrival here in 19 or just after 1994 and seeing the evolution of the game here in the states as a British man. I came here as a Colombian guy, um, and when I got to Kansas City, there was very little here, and so to now haven't seen the blossoming and the progression of the game, the evolution of the game, the growth, the mistakes, the warts, the great special moments, World Cup moments that we've lived, both here, for the U.S. and for the Colombian team. Um, just the state of the game in this country, and for me personally, as you said, for both, being part of the national team program and seeing how far and how good our team has become, how much it's inspiring this team and inspiring newer generations. Hopefully, the team will continue to do well and have a deep run into the tournament. And for me to see now 30 something, 35, 36 years later, to be able to watch the Colombian national team, who I grew up idolizing in my backyard now, it's a sign of the times. It's a sign of growth and progress and evolution and all those things. So I'm living a moment. I feel like I'm living in the dream of really seeing all of it coming to fruition 30 something years later.
So, Diego, we've seen the passion of the Argentine fans, the Algerian fans, the Ecuadorian fans, Curacao fans, the Netherlands, et cetera, et cetera. What are we gonna see from the Colombian fans? What sets them apart as a fandom, as a, soccer community?
We are soccer crazy. We don't necessarily have marches. We have sheer volume. And so I think that what we will see is that, aside from the 10, 12, 15,000 Colombians that live in the metro area, you will see tens of thousands of other Colombians that will be flying from all parts of the world. I mean, the Colombian national team is amongst the top five most followed national teams in the world, along with
Oh.
England,
Mhm.
Mexico, the US, the Netherlands. I mean, we travel really, really well. The US fans travel really well as well. And we are like Italians, like Mexicans, like Chinese. We have a presence, even if it's small, pretty much in every corner of the world. So I know that the sheer numbers, the stadium is going to be absolutely yellow come Friday.
So, question, is your Colombian jersey have Gutierrez on the back or anybody's name, or is it Blake?
My U15, U17 national team Colombian jerseys are still in there somewhere in a box. I won't be able to wear those, but certainly from the heart, I'll be cheering for Colombia.
Nice, nice. Well, we talked a little bit earlier about some interesting facts about Colombia, and I want to talk about one in particular.
Sure.
You
Ooh,
kind of
we're gonna
shot it
learn
down.
things. I like
Yeah,
this. Okay, yeah,
y-
let's get into this.
you kind of shot it down a little bit about not being a national sport, but that's what it said on the Google that I did. But it's kind of like you said, a game that maybe you do, like a horseshoes. Uh, Talk a little bit about this explosive game, Tejo. Is that how you say it?
Tejo. Oh yeah,
Heyo,
Tejo.
I've seen this.
Tejo is a family game that was originated in the interior of the country. It's similar to horseshoe. When you're playing it full size, and you can enlarge it or shorten it, however size you want it. But typically, you're throwing a horseshoe about 25 yards across a track.
Whoa.
The box where you're supposed to land a metal anywhere between 2 and I would say probably 8 pounds. It's a dish that you just toss, you underhand toss this thing very much like you would do
A discus or something?
horseshoes,
Or
but
yeah.
there's not a stick that you're supposed to land the horseshoe around. It's actually a ring, and that ring has firecrackers like
Yeah.
gunpowder
It says
on it, so that
gunpowder.
when yeah,
I'm
so
reading
that if
gunpowder.
you actually hit the rim with that metal disc, it'll pop. It'll explode, right? It'll go
Ah,
pow
okay.
like a firecracker does, like an M80 or what have you. And
That
Yeah.
sounds
so
very
it's
Colombian. I like this.
very stereotypical, that comment, but I'll take it.
Oh, I like it's fun and exciting is what I meant.
And you
It says it's
commented,
Yeah,
Diego,
it's
that
500
super
years
it's
old.
super fun. You play it with family, you play it over a few beers, you play it in, pretty much anywhere, any gathering. Yeah, but
Pro
Tejo's super fun. I'm
probably not
surprised you got
indoors.
that one. That's awesome. What did you
If it's
say?
gonna explode, it's gonna explode. Probably don't play it indoors very often.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play it indoors. Don't play it indoors. Don't play
and
it
you
inside the living room.
and you said that you get a little, colorful because of the clay exploding, and you get that all over you. But
Oh
there's
yeah. If you're
also
going to play Tejo, you gotta make sure that you're either bringing baby wipes or something that you can clean your hands for, because you or clean your hands with, because you're gonna have clay all over your hands all night long. But it's super
so
fun. I highly recommend it.
I
so
know
have
what
you
we're
played
gonna
it
do at
here
our
in
Shades
Kansas
of
City?
Blue.
Have
We're
you?
playing Tejo at the Shades of Blue tailgate, Robert.
There you go.
Okay, all
We're
right,
There you
gonna be
okay.
go.
doing that.
We'll build a track. I'll be in charge of the building of it.
All right, so we're talking about color from that. We're talking about color from the fans and the team. But there's this river. You kind of described it more as I don't know, a glorified creek maybe that runs in Colombia. You're gonna have to pronounce this for me. Go ahead.
Caño Cristales.
Okay, and
Ooh.
it
Caño
runs red.
Cristales. Yeah. It's the Caño Cristales is a little bit away from the cities, is more towards the Amazon region, towards the to the eastern part of the country, but it's essentially a wonderful, beautiful. It is, by the way, a full size river. However,
Okay,
in the area where you find these colorful algae, it looks like a rainbow river. It's more of about,
Oh,
maybe I would describe it as probably 30, 40, 50 yards wide, a creek that is absolutely crystal clear, but you can see pretty much every color in the spectrum. And so it looks like a river made of Skittles, or like a
everyone
rainbow
has
river. It's
everyone has seen
absolutely
this come across their feed
amazing.
at some point. It's popped up on your feed on whatever social media you look at because it is beautiful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
think I've seen
absolutely
this at a
stunning, very unique. You only find that, in that kind of geography where, where nature is pretty much untouched. There's no industrial anything. It's a sight to see. It really is. And so it's one of the most visited tourist spots in Colombia, for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Cody, I think Cody's cheating, guys. But we kind of went over the answer to this first one before Cody came on. So, Cody, this is for you, and
Okay.
stop cheating.
I'm a I'm just looking at a rundown.
Colombia is the only South American country that I know there's probably more than one thing, but this one particular thing we're looking for. Cody, any idea in which Colombia has this unique quality about it out of any South American country?
Oh,
It's
Can I
man,
give
super
him a
brown.
hint?
yeah, I'm gonna be mad that I got this wrong, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment. You put me under
It's
pressure. It made me
it's a
Thad,
nervous.
you gonna give him a
geographic
hint?
feature.
It's a geographic feature, right?
Think of how the country is shaped and the location it's at.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Okay,
I wouldn't have
well,
either if I wasn't here earlier.
besides this fact that we're going to talk about, it is also the biggest exporter of emeralds in the world. But anyway,
Mm.
99% of
yes,
the world's emeralds come from Colombia.
yeah, yeah.
The number
So this,
one in them, yeah, number one or number two exporter of flowers, second most biodiverse country in the world, most diversity in amphibians, birds.
Do you just have
yes,
all
Um,
of this in your head? That's incredible. Well done.
yeah, yeah.
He has a
yes, I
doctorate.
saw something
I have
about
a
they more
doctorate for a
bird
reason.
species. Yeah, more bird species than America and Europe combined.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy. But this geographic thing, Cody, is that Colombia is the only one that has a coastline with both the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would never have gotten that specific. Yeah, that's yeah, okay, very cool.
In fact, Panama used to be part of Colombia. So part of Brazil, what is today Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, and Panama all used to be part of a large swath of land that took half the continent called the Great Colombia. And that was broken up
Mm.
probably mid 19th century.
All right, cool.
That is cool.
So,
I'm so
Cody,
glad we took some time to learn about Colombia.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Diego,
All you have to
appreciate
do is
that.
invite a professor to
There
the
you go.
podcast, and all kinds of somewhat useless trivia comes out to the forefront.
You know, we do get useless trivia on here without having a professor, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But you do
You're
enhance the professionalism of it.
that was the
Yeah, there
most
you go.
useful that we've ever had, so
All
There
right,
you go.
Diego. I don't know if you're gonna hang on here for our segment two. We talk more about the U.S. Bosnia Herzegovina contest coming up on Wednesday, but you are welcome to. Cody, we ready for segment two?
yes,
Actually,
I wanna
wait a minute.
hear yeah, I wanna hear from the group stage. Big win over Uzbekistan, 3-1, and then, 1-0 over DR Congo, 0-0 draw against Portugal. Best performance from Colombia so far.
Best performance for me was the 0-0 tie against Portugal, primarily because it was the strongest team or strongest competition in the group. Uh, and by the way, I don't know why people are so high on Portugal being a
Thank
contender for
you.
this tournament. I don't think that this Portugal team is even one of the top three World Cup teams that they've put on the field in the last three World Cups. And
Yeah,
so, but for whatever reason, with pundits, they got a ton of traction as a candidate. I actually don't think that's the case. I think that, as I mentioned previously, I think that Cristiano hurts what Portugal is about. It limits the way that the team attacks. It somewhat neutralizes some of the things that Neves and Vitinha and some of the creativity that comes to the forefront. It almost feels like it's forced for Cristiano to get opportunities, and so yeah, I thought that it was for Colombia probably the best outing was dominating that game and what should have been 3 points.
they did. That was the best they've looked so far, I thought, and me trying to speak to soccer casuals about how great of an attacking team Colombia was in this 0-0 draw.
Yeah,
It's a little difficult on that front, but no, that was they were up front the whole time, one of the strongest attacking looking teams I've seen so far, honestly. So,
yeah.
okay. Okay, let's, what do you got, Thad?
I was gonna say, do you have a prediction for the Colombia Ghana game?
Oh, don't ask
Oh,
you
yeah.
predictions. Come on.
I listen. I'm asked predictions on television all the time. I have no qualm saying it because I mean it's football, and we know that
Yeah, it
anything
can
can
go any
happen,
way.
right? Yeah, I can
Right.
go anyway. But if logic were to follow, I think that if Colombia scores early and Ghana has to come out and try to play, it might be that there's another set piece, something of the sort, where Colombia comes out on top 2-0.
Cool. Yeah,
That's what I would
I
like
would
to
go with
see.
that. All
Yeah.
right. See, it wasn't that hard of a question.
He's a pro. We'll be right
Yep.
back.
We're going to need a bigger cake with room for 250 candles. I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. Join me and my guest BJ Shea as we celebrate America's big birthday. What are the best and worst American inventions? How would the founding fathers feel about today's America? What's the most American thing? And what will America look like at 500? Join our celebration this week on Lunatic in the Newsroom.
All right, USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina, Wednesday. Diego, how are you feeling about this one? I think we talked last night on the normal show. It seems like everyone is feeling pretty confident over here. What do you think of Bosnia?
I think again, uh, understanding that this game has logic, but it doesn't always apply to order and bigger teams being on top. It doesn't. It just simply doesn't equate to that. But I'll say this: I think that Bosnia is a very well organized team, a team that is difficult to play against, a team that's dangerous on set pieces, and therefore being good in the air, having bigger, stronger guys, physically speaking, also tells you that they defend set pieces well. In fact, they do defend set pieces very well. So this will be another test of patience. I think it'll be very similar to the Australia game, where the way that you approach the game and the intensity and how fast you go at your opponent actually matters and dictates the speed of the game and the tempo. And if the U.S. is able to do that early and possess the ball and be really intentional about attacking and putting Bosnia and Herzegovina on their heels, it may generate something where this team will have to come out and play. I'm very confident that if the U.S. Has a good day, very much in the way that they came out with the attitude and the approach in the game against Paraguay in the opener, it could be a result where we see three, maybe four goals.
Yeah, and hearing you describe them, I've thought this recently as well that they kind of have some of the qualities that the U.S. national team used to have that have kind
Sure.
of been lost over time. Just gritty, hardworking. You said tough to play against. That was just like a way you could describe the U.S. national
Yep.
team. So yeah, they do these just very simple things, put the ball into dangerous spots, big physical guys. So yeah, I think that's gonna be that's gonna be an issue there. And you said we're gonna need to throw our big physical guys out there. Is Chris Richards? Is he meaty enough to be doing this? Like who are the big guys that are gonna be going up against that physicality?
Great question. I think guys like Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Alex Freeman. I think he's been tremendous this World Cup. I think
Yeah.
physically he brings something different because it's almost like you're playing with a right back, but he's also playing center back, but he can step into the midfield and handle the ball and ask for the ball with his back to the goal or in tight spots, and he typically does okay. So it's those types of guys, obviously, Balo, guys like that are need to gotta come back and defend on set pieces. We need to try to give the ball away as little as possible. Try to keep possession as much as possible. We have guys that are dangerous on the wings. We can generate a lot of advantages with 2v1s and in combination play in the wings. If we do that, I think that we're going to get maybe 5, 7, 8 clear opportunities throughout the game. And hopefully, like I said, we can put one away early, and that gives us the advantage because the other team will have to come out and play.
So Diego, we didn't have Christian against Australia. Came in second half in the last game against Turkey. How big of a difference can Christian make here? Is he going to be the difference?
I think he's a catalyst. He's a difference maker. We saw how the game changed when he came on the field last time around. Glad to see him back. I thought on the ball he looked sharp. He looked fit. He didn't have any hesitation. So I got no doubts that he'll be probably in the game from the start. And what I would say to Christian, if I could speak to him and provide any kind of input, would be go at these guys as much as you can, put them on their heels, make their lines go backwards so that we can have other spots on the field where we can take advantages. But Christian on the ball, especially with the ball at his feet, he's a guy that can create a lot of damage and create a lot of advantages for us.
So, do we see the same lineup that we saw against Paraguay? Are we sticking with that, or is it going to look any different at all?
I love that game. I felt that for a U.S. team is probably the best performance that we've seen since 2002, where you come out and you really try to go at another team. You value possession, you keep the ball within, you know, with our guys, you take advantage and you go right at them. If we can get guys, left backs, right backs, to get to the end line, I think that'll be a pretty good sign that we're having the better of the game.
So, we talked last night a little bit about this, but our opinion, I think, was Weah Reyna did not look up to the task, in that match versus Turkey. Are you concerned about those guys and them coming off the bench and performing, or are they pretty much the players we know they've been for a long time?
Yeah, I think obviously guys are at their best when they're playing continuously and they're playing a lot of minutes. Things come natural. It's much more difficult to make an impact on the game coming off the bench. However, there are a lot of guys that have made a career of doing that. But I do firmly believe that these two guys that you mentioned are better off having played 60, 70 minutes last time around and getting a run and being ready to contribute. What I would see and what I would expect to see was the same lineup that came out against Paraguay, a lineup that is going to be offensive, a lineup that is going to go right after the opponent. And if that's the case, I think that we'll get the win and we'll be moving on to the round of 16. I like what this team is about. I like the balance. I think that the question mark that we had from the very beginning was the back line and how that would gel, how it would do against quicker, faster guys, bigger guys. And we've been tested in a variety of ways through the group stage. And I'm okay with where we are. The goal obviously is to continue to grow throughout the tournament, and as you continue to conquer games, that your group becomes galvanized and a lot more confident. Hopefully that this will be our another step in the growth process for this team.
After what you've seen in the group stage so far, how far do you think the U.S. can go realistically? I mean, we don't want a Tim Howard comment here, but we don't want to over over impress upon it, you know?
Yeah, I think that this team has the ability to probably get to a quarterfinal, and at this quarterfinal, anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen. If you would have woke up and you would have taken a survey today about, you know, how many of 100 people or 1,000 people, how many people do you think that would have had Paraguay going through? Not a
Yep.
whole lot. Not a whole lot, right? And so you have to be conscious of the fact that anything can happen, and approaching the game from an aggressive perspective with belief, with the right attitude. I know that this team can go far. Once you get to a quarterfinal, I mean, who are we looking at? Belgium, perhaps? Okay, well,
Quarterfinal,
if that's the
Belgium.
case, Belgium, is it Belgium in our bracket?
Spain would be
Spain?
the
Spain, right?
Is it
projected in the
Belgium,
Spain?
Egypt would be
quarterfinal.
round of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying let's, you know, if we ran into Spain, that that all of a sudden we become Cape Verde and we play with a low block and we put 10 guys behind the ball. That's not that I'm not suggesting that. Um, but I mean, we saw what happened today. Anything can
Yeah.
happen. Guys, I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe it. If we get to a quarterfinal, why not us?
Right.
Why
It would
not
be an
us?
amazing
There we go.
it would be an amazing story.
You sound like a coach for Pochettino right now. Why not us?
Listen, is the World Cup fever? I think that this team is proving a lot of doubters wrong. What a difference a year makes. Everybody was panicking last fall. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, we're losing games. What are we doing?" Pochettino's not the guy. Now they're offering him another 4-year contract. So it's just about how the team grows, how the guys gel, and if we're able to get results or we're not. And so far we have. So there's no reason to all of a sudden become skeptical about what this group can do.
That that World Cup fever, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
It's the hope, the period of time in between maybe what can happen here. That's what the next generation of players in this country are getting excited about. This is this is why it hurts
it's
so
about the
bad not
moment, right?
qualifying. Yeah, this is what it's all about. Yeah.
It's about the moment. Look what Canada's doing. Look at the moment that Mexico is living. And a year ago, we were talking about Mexico. Everybody's super concerned about who they're going to field, who's going to be in goal. I mean, all kinds of questions. And all three host countries have passed every single test with flying colors. So why not us? I have to ask. I
Diego,
think it can be done.
we know you need to go, so I'll let you go with one more question, though. Is there anything about how Kansas City has handled this as a host or just a response that surprised you at all about Kansas City, or did you expect us just to come through like flying colors?
Nothing has surprised me. As a planner, as somebody that has seen the process, has understood what the KC 2026 was trying to do, somebody that knows how hard these guys have worked, the team that they have put together. I'm delighted that, for example, as we face some bottlenecks, the very first game that we had here in Kansas City, things were addressed.
Mhm.
They pivoted and they made it a whole lot better, right? And so everything that I thought that Kansas City could be as a host city, not only have we met it, we've exceeded it. Television viewership, involvement of the community. I know that we'll have conversations later on after the smoke and the dust settles and everybody has left town. We will look back and we'll do our economic studies and we'll hear the feedback. And look, I think that this has been an amazing experience, not only for Kansas City but for our region. And so I'm very proud of every single person not only that has been involved in organizing the tournament, but every single person going back 30, 40, 50 years who has lived the game, who has helped it grow, who has been somehow involved, whether it's coaching, volunteering, being a parent, playing the game, calling it on radio, television. Collectively, we have put ourselves in this spot, and nothing makes me more proud than being part of this community and part of the growth process.
Diego Gutierrez, thank you very much for joining us. Know you're a busy guy. Go get some rest, and maybe we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Diego.
Thanks, Doc.
Have a good one.
We'll be right back. All right. Always good to have Diego Gutierrez on, friend of the pod. Saw him a few times in the press box, and he is busy. The guy was running around. He just has the George Costanza Seinfeld thing. You can just like see he's busy. So we enjoyed hearing what he has to say about the Bosnia game. We didn't really get to talk too much about it. Thad, how are you feeling about about the game on Wednesday?
Well, again, as long as US plays the way they should play, right, with Pulisic and everybody, and the way they can pull teams apart with the amount of talent that they have, I feel pretty good about it. Bosnia, I don't know if you've seen this stat, but Bosnia is actually the tallest team in the tournament.
Yeah.
And you'd think that that would really translate to set pieces, but they've scored one header goal, uh, I think this whole tournament so far. They've
It
not
means they're
scored a
due.
ton.
It means they're
Yeah.
due.
Or it just means that they're not as good at it as we thought they were.
Right.
So I would say, it's a pretty common coach thing. Don't give up a lot of set pieces. Don't give up corner kicks. That
Right.
might be a little bit of a key in this one, but maintain possession. If you're gonna give up possession, foul them at the halfway line so they don't have a chance to have some 7 foot tall guy in there to get that goal.
Diego mentioned it in there, and I'm sure it is going to be what Poach is trying to do of right from the start attack, try to get a lead up front, and
Yep.
I've been very concerned about that because just imagine the last 20 minutes or the last 15 minutes of this game if the US if it's tied or the US have a 1 goal lead. They're going to fall back, and the tallest team in the tournament this is their game plan. The amount of crosses, corner kicks, long range shots that they're going to have to parry away. it is gonna be a horribly stressful last 15, 20 minutes of that game if they don't have a clear lead.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
solution is 3 goals in the first half.
Yes, that's it. That's all you gotta do.
Let subs in the second half.
I'm going to disagree a little bit with what Diego said as far as organization. I don't think Herzegovina is that organized, especially if
Right.
you are a patient team that moves the ball around quickly and kind of
Yes.
draws them out just a little bit because they do a lot of movement. They have trouble organizing and, passing players off and tracking runners. So I think if we get our athleticism and our combinations going, I think we're just going to wear them down over time and we're going to break through a number of times.
I mean, they're gonna be organized in that they play in Europe and European qualification and all that. Like, there's a baseline for that, that they're
Yeah.
not gonna be disorganized, but they're not a particularly a team that you would say that about. It's more so just they do the simple things to put the ball in a dangerous area. You like you can't score if you don't shoot kind of thing. Put pressure on the keeper, make them make saves, try to force rebounds and things like that is just how they're is kind of how they play more so than they're a tight, perfectly organized machine more so. Pulisic, that's what he's gonna be there for. The defense splitting play that he did in Portugal, that kind of thing is what he's gonna have to do. And he is going there's gonna be room to do that. McKinney's gonna be able to find some space to cut lines. That is gonna be there. They're just gonna have to take their opportunities in that first half and like I said, hopefully get at least a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the 1-2 punch that we have with that triangle on the left side and the triangle with Dest and Freeman and McKinney over on the right side, I think it's just going to just be too much for Bosnia to handle as long as we're playing well and moving the ball well. And also, I mean, if you look at the stats, guys, this is in my article that on the KC Soccer Journal today. In none of their group games did they ever exceed a 1 in expected goals. Matter of fact, against Qatar, the team that, everybody,
Wow.
dunked on, they only had
Right.
an XG, I think, of 0.68 or something like that. Of course, we know stats can be misleading, but if you also look at entries in the box of that they got into Qatar's box or got into Switzerland's box, they didn't have a whole lot of entries into the box, as far as playing the ball on the floor and, their
Yeah.
approach play. So,
It's because, like I said, they settle for a shot that, like, a team that fancies himself better would say you need to be more patient. They will they will drop a hammer with a strong, powerful guy through a ball outside of the box, and if the keeper's not on point and doesn't
yeah.
parry that away properly or catch it, or that's just kind of how they play. That's the game plan and what they're gonna be doing. So a lot of the time, if a guy gets half a step, they don't even feel the need to make that other pass because they don't have the class to do it. They're just
Yeah.
gonna fire it in there.
Yeah.
And that in that Qatar game, Qatar scored one of the goals for them, so there was an own
Right.
goal. So they only scored 2 goals in that game when they only had, like, a little under, 1 XG. So
Mhm.
it's they were benefited by Qatar being that much worse.
But we know what happened today to a certain club, certain country,
Yeah.
Germany. So we've got to be wary, right, guys?
Yeah, but who beat them? Who beat them, Robert?
Who beat Germany today? I don't know who did beat Germany today.
Paraguay. Who beat Paraguay?
We did.
4-1 by 3 goals.
Yeah, but
I'm feeling
Paraguay's
pretty good.
probably a different team by now, aren't they? They've grown through the tournament. But yeah, point taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Germany was by far the superior team most of the game.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, like, it went against the run of play that Paraguay was the winner until it got to the penalties, and then
I don't even know.
that's
Like, they were the better team. They didn't do anything enough for me to say by far the better team. They just kind of
yeah.
there wasn't a lot to it most of that game. There wasn't very much bite to what they had. Also,
Now,
when Kai Havertz stepped up to that, I said out loud to my dog because I was by myself, just my dog. I said he's gonna miss this.
You need to
so
have a recorder in your dog so your dog can testify to these statements that you make.
So
Okay.
is this am I wrong in this? I might be, but didn't Germany not get out of the group stage the last 2 World
Yes,
Cups?
2 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, they got out of the group stage in this one, but the 2 before that, yeah.
No, we need to recalibrate how we view the World Cup. There's getting out of the group stage. There's the round of 16 remains the same. The round of 32 is just the next phase of the group stage. All these teams are playing the smaller ones. Now you got to go 4 games to get to the round of 16. And so, in
Yeah.
my opinion, they still failed. They couldn't beat Paraguay, a team way
Fair
less
enough.
than them. They still didn't get to the round of 16.
Round of 32 is like the championship game of the group stage. Like
Yes, there you
essentially,
go.
it's
There you go.
it's the next thing you have to do to get to the real portion of the tournament.
Correct. Correct. I
But
like that.
still, it's still for a lot of teams, it's a big accomplishment to get to the 32. I mean, Algeria, Austria, pretty damn happy. Teams like that. There's a
Cape
lot of
Verde.
little teams out there. Yeah, they're very happy to get to the round of 32 because it's progress. So it's like a half step from the group stage to the 16 now. So,
Yeah, I know. I've been kind of like secretly in the background, so no one can see, rolling my eyes at that. Like, oh, for the first time ever, they get out of the group stage. It's a different scale we're all talking about here,
Yeah.
and they're like,
right.
oh, they haven't been here since 1982, and it's like, well, because we allowed more teams in. Oh, it's their first time in the World Cup. What a great team this must be. No, we just allowed more teams in. The whole
Uh,
thing is different.
how many? So just like before, how many teams were in the World Cup before this year?
We
32,
added
Yeah.
yes, we
32.
added, yeah, 12,
and
right?
so 16, right?
Or 16, yeah.
Yep.
And how many got eliminated out of the group stage before going to the round of 32? 16.
Mhm.
All we did
There
was
you go.
eliminate the
See?
teams who didn't play well enough.
At least in theory.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's obviously some variances there. Some of those teams were better than they should have got better results, but they
But
didn't.
you're right, it's the status quo. Germany can't get out of the group stage, still haven't.
Yeah, so it's essentially the same thing. They're still a really good team, though, and so even though we can make fun of them not getting out of the group stage for a couple of them and things like that, they were still a good team. They're still a dangerous team. When the U.S. played them in Chicago before the World Cup, they were a really good team, and
Yeah.
it was a 2-1 loss, but it was a step up from previous results that the U.S. had. Now we just got to be able to beat those European teams because they haven't been able to do that for a while.
Yeah, Rob, when you said "but" at the end of that conversation about why we were gonna win this round of 32 game, I thought that's what you were gonna say. This is a European team, and they showed that stat in the last game against Turkey. It's been like 15, 16 games maybe since they've actually won a game against a European team. So,
I
there's
pray to the
still a
Lord
mental
that
hurdle.
Pochettino does not say that to his team before they go out.
Yeah.
But if he says it in the right way, it'll piss them off and they'll go out and play
Will
better.
it? You think?
I don't know, man. I have faith
Whatever
that
Poach
Coach will
wants
say
to
that.
say is yes, exactly correct. That he knows better than us on how to do that.
He
So we are recording here before the Morocco Netherlands game kicks off. So the other game today, other than the Germany Paraguay, was Brazil Japan. Japan went up first in that.
Yep.
Yeah, so Brazil moves on. I was disappointed for Japan. Tough to do it in stoppage time there, but it was a long time coming. They were not gonna survive, 30 minutes of extra time, I don't think.
No, probably not, but Japan was the better team in the first half, Brazil was the better team in the second half, and
And Japan was without, like, maybe their 3 best players. 2 of their
yeah,
best attacking players and midfielders, so yeah, I was impressed with Japan. Unfortunate
when
for them.
when people talk about teams that are organized and,
Yes,
Yeah.
well prepared, Japan
exactly.
is like
Ex
the epitome of that. Like every
Right.
time somebody gets a ball, you see the defense move to be prepared for that next thing. It goes back out. You can see all that movement going in and out. And unfortunately, because Brazil had possession most of the second half, I think it wore them down, all of that movement, and they
Right.
Yeah.
missed an assignment for that first goal, and then they missed another one a little bit later. So
They were
Could be.
organized in preventing the attack and not opening up holes, and they were filling in all the gaps, but that is a tiring business for 75 minutes, and
yep.
then you could kinda see it.
Could be what happens Wednesday night.
Yeah, hopefully. And then the other round of 32 that we've had, Canada moves on with a late winner. My
Ooh.
most notable thing from that was Jesse Marsh being embarrassed at halftime when he was going out to yell at the referee, and his own player had to say, "Dude, chill out, go to the locker." It was just the roles were exactly reversed. It looked like a hothead player going to go say something he shouldn't, and a coach comes out and stops him and says, "No, just calm down, man. Just go that way. Locker room's that way." Embarrassing for Jesse.
Oh, man, asshole American and cool Canadian? No, wait. I don't think that's actually the true stereotype. I've met some Canadians that are quite the assholes. But,
Yeah.
Jesse Marsh, I'm rather glad he did not get the job.
I know,
I
'cause
was
we all wanted it, right? Has everyone been afraid to admit that out loud? Like, we
no,
kinda wanted him. There were not that
no,
many
I did
options.
not.
A lot of people were like, he's a decent choice here, at least versus Greg Berhalter."
I'd rather have Berhalter, quite honestly, still.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Not over
Jesse
Poach.
had his run, and he looked really good going up through the Red Bull system, but,
Yeah.
he also hit a point where he faltered, and I just haven't been as impressed with him or his friends.
Yeah, and the antics on the sideline are more
Yeah,
annoying when it's for Canada, when it's like a team I don't like.
and his comments about the US
Yeah.
and things like that is
Yeah,
just has
shut your
been
mouth.
very annoying. Like,
Yeah.
A
you know,
petulant child. Come on, Jesse.
he
And also, how performative was that after the final whistle with the camera right in his face and he's given the entire speech? Go to the locker room. That's a personal moment. Why are you doing that in front of the camera? You know that was there. You were doing it for the camera. I'm so tired of Jesse Marsh.
well, the good thing is we don't have him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing we have Pochettino yet. I mean, I do have faith in Pochettino being a good coach. We still need to see how far they go. I think he's doing all the right things or as many good things as he possibly can, but we
He
still got
is
to see
a
how far
good
they go.
coach. He is a good
Yes,
coach, and he's done a good job. Uh,
yes.
a a bad game and a bad result, I don't think, even from this point on, I don't think, like, changes that he actually, like, had some magic sauce here. Like, anything can happen, of course. We just like you were just saying, Germany lost and Spain draws Cabo Verde. Anything can happen there. So I don't think one result changes, that I think he's done a good job and had the right
No,
combination of mentality and motivation and all of that.
Well,
coaches do
they
get judged on their teams though. And
they
so,
Yeah.
get the winner of Netherlands Morocco. So
yeah, that should be easy.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh,
Um,
I thought the next
it
one
was
was, Belgium. No?
They're talking about Canada.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Canada gets Netherlands Morocco. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll be a tough one either way.
Yeah.
This upcoming game here, we're gonna have to stop this because the game's about to kick off, and
Exactly.
I think it's the most exciting one of the round of 32 here, which is kinda rare to find, actually.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it should be entertaining. Do you want Pochettino back? They've already supposedly made him an offer.
Yes. Yes, I actually like that they put that out there just to make sure everybody knows we know he's legit and, here are our intentions, and we're not done. We didn't just, put all the eggs in this basket just because it was on home soil. We're motivated beyond this. We see him and want him. I like this. I don't think he's gonna stay,
Me neither.
but but I like that they put it out there before he says no.
I don't know. It's we'll see. I mean, it depends on how much fun he's having, I suppose. But
Yeah.
it's a long time between now and the next World Cup for a coach to
Yeah.
only coach Gold Cups and CONCACAF championships, and
And especially when there's club teams that are calling you with more money all around. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you to Diego Gutierrez for joining once again. And we will talk to you next week when we are moving on to the round of 16.
We're the red and the white and the blue, and we're coming for you. We'll take on the world and we'll take